Welcome in. It is hour number 2 as we broadcast live from the 1250 AM and 105.7 FM, the Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Steve Sparky, Fifer with you out here at Camp Bar. Come on out, hang out with us. We are out here because of our fine folks over there at Sun Cruiser. And again, baseball calls for Sun Cruiser Vodka Iced Tea, made with real iced tea and real vodka. Refreshingly smooth and easy to drink. No bubbles to fill you up. It's the perfect game day sipper as we get ready for Brewers and Cardinals tonight at American Family Field. Don't forget, I'll be out here to 5:30. Then it's the leadoff show powered by Potawatomi Sportsbook, the only pregame show for Brewers baseball all season long. That's an hour or more. And tonight, it's 90 minutes from 5:30 until 7 o'clock. Tommy Wirtz, the big old hunk of love, will be out here at Camp Bar in the 3rd Ward later this afternoon. Looking forward to having Tommy Wirtz out here and seeing his smiley face later on this afternoon. Tommy and I were talking about this, I think, a little bit the other day, and I've been texting with people about this topic we're going to talk about now. Yes, the Packers win yesterday over the Washington Commanders. Yes, they are 2-0. Yes, they are the talk of the National Football League right now. I have on here at Camp Bar, they have a TV up. I'm watching Ryan Clark and all of them on NFL Live talking about the Packers right now. So they're clearly the talk of the town. This is the thing. And this happens every year. And it does not matter how good the Brewers are. It does not matter how good the Packers are. This happens every year. And what happens every year is, as soon as we kick off week 1 and we get into September, what happens to the momentum of the Milwaukee Brewers? What happens to everybody being all in on the Brewers once we get to Packer season? Now, I'm not even saying from a sports talk perspective as far as what happens to all the shows talking about, only Packers, and they never talk about the Brewers. And yesterday we had Tim Dillard on yesterday, and I appreciated having Tim Dillard on yesterday. But this is the thing that I get a little bit concerned or worried about at this point. When the Bucks make their run and they go to and win an NBA championship, when does that happen? June? You're the middle of the baseball season. There's nothing really going on there. National Football League, there's zilch going on at the end of June to compete with. You're all by yourself. So you draw 60,000 people to Titletown District and that whole deal. My question is this. Does it feel like the Brewers' momentum amongst fans has faded? And if so, why do you think it is? Is it the Packers? Is it the way the team is playing? Is it's a long season and we know we're going to the playoffs, so we're chilling right now and waiting for the playoffs to start? Why do you feel like momentum has been lost here for the Brewers? I think it has a lot to do with the Packers. Nicolay Law Fan Talking text line 414-677-1250, 414-677-1250. You can also tweet us, Facebook us at The Fan Milwaukee. Join us on the YouTube Dugout chat as well. You can just search for us, The Fan Milwaukee on YouTube, and you'll find us there. And you can check out Camp Bar in the 3rd Ward where we're broadcasting from there if you're watching on YouTube. Charlie, I think a lot of what's happening here is twofold. I think, number one, the Packers started, and they're playing well. They make a huge trade for Micah Parsons, and the Brewers' momentum ran out. Now, I don't know what happens if the Brewers are at 10, 11 wins in a row, and the Packers trade for Micah Parsons. I think Micah Parsons still takes precedence at that point with most people. That's still more of the conversation than winning hamburgers or something at that point. I think it's still, the Micah love at the end of the day. But then the other part of this is they haven't been playing as well lately, right? They've been playing a little bit over 500 baseball probably for the last couple of weeks if we go back and look at their record. And the third prong of this whole thing is they pretty much are guaranteed a playoff spot right now. And unless something crazy happens, they're going to win this division. There's a little drama still, right? Their lead has shrunk on the Phillies in the NL for top record. So maybe they don't end up with a 1 seed. So I guess there's some drama there. But night to night in what this is all about, I think a lot of Brewers fans might be getting to the point of, okay, tell me when the playoffs start, and I'll be ready to roll. Right now, all my focus is on the Green Bay Packers.
I mean, there was a good number of Brewers fans that were already at that point at the beginning of the season that they were like, let's get to the playoffs. I want to see them get past the first round at this point. And now, like you said, you get to this time in the season where the Brewers have locked up that playoff spot. where it feels like they're pretty comfortable in the NL Central, where it feels like even just in the National League, they're pretty comfortable in getting a top 3 seed at this point. I think that fans all of a sudden move their attention to, the big news. If the Milwaukee Brewers had somehow traded for an Aaron Judge, they would have kept paying attention to the Milwaukee Brewers to see Aaron Judge. But the Green Bay Packers did that instead. They went and got Micah Parsons, so obviously your attention goes to that. I mean, Caleb Durbin was at that game yesterday, and the Brewers were at that game, Joey Ortiz. I mean, their attention is on the Green Bay Packers right now. That's kind of just how not only in Wisconsin it's going, but when a big monumental shift like that happens in a league, I think almost everybody that's a sports fan in general gravitates towards that instead.
Yeah, that was an interesting group of players that were hanging out at that game last night, right? You had big old Miles Turner with that purple Bucks jersey that he was sporting. He stood out like a sore thumb. Right, the Brewers are like, hey, you know what? Why don't all the short guys go to the game with one of the biggest guys on the Bucks, and I'll go hang out together, right? That's what it was. Caleb Durbin, he's like my size. Sal Frelick, he's not much bigger than my size. All these dudes are like 5'7", 5'9", with a big old 7-footer. I mean, literally, he looked like he was a giant amongst all of these guys out there, Charlie.
It was awesome. I loved it. That picture of Miles Turner and Caleb Durbin is hilarious.
Yes.
It's so good. But also, it's what, again, that everybody wants to see right now is Micah Parsons. Doesn't matter who it is, whether it's the short guys on the baseball team or the tall guys on the basketball team. People are going to Green Bay to watch that team do what they're doing over these first couple of weeks. And it's hard to deny that that deserves to take precedence over the Milwaukee Brewers at this point in the season.
I wonder if they would ever say it on the record. Probably not. But I wonder if there's some jealousy involved from basketball players and MLB baseball players that go rolling into an NFL stadium. I mean, think about it. Miles Turner is going to play in front of what? 12, 13,000 on most nights. You know, sold out nights, maybe you get to 17 in some arenas, depending on where you're at. Maybe that's part of it. But if you really think about it, dude, there's 82,000 people screaming and yelling your name and going nuts. You got Micah Parsons after doing a post-game show on TV, and everybody's chanting "Thank you, Jerry," and Mike is like dancing to the "Thank you, Jerry's" as they're doing it. Like, it's insane, and that's a regular season game. That's not a postseason game. That's not a NBA Finals Game 3 of a 7-game set game. That is Game 2 of their season, and to have that type of atmosphere. And the Brewers have a great atmosphere, but that's double the amount of people than what the Brewers play in front of as well. I would just think if you're a pro sports player and you get to go hang out at an NFL game with all those fans, and some of these guys, you know, you play college baseball, you play in front of a few thousand people, right? But you're not playing in front of 100,000 people, right? At the Horseshoe or something like that. You're not playing in front of that many people. Basketball, yeah, you could play in front of the Cameron Crazies and all of that. But again, you're not playing in front of these many people. It is at a completely different level. And I think that sometimes you have athletes that wish they played other sports or wish they were good at other sports and so forth. I don't think that's necessarily what it is, but I do think there's some type of jealousy of, man, could you imagine playing in front of these many fans doing what we love to do? Like, that is at a completely different point for sure. All right, Nicolay Law, fan talking text line 414-677-1250, 414-677-1250. KJ, West Allis, your next Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's with me, Steve Sparky Fifer. What's up?
Sparky, happy Friday. Good afternoon.
Why don't you come out here, man? Why don't you come hang with me at Camp Bar? You're not that far. You're only in West Allis. I'm in 3rd Ward.
Yeah, I'm going to the Brewers game tonight and tomorrow, Sparky. So
come down here, man. Come hang out, take a shot or whatever. Come hang out with us.
Yeah, well, like I said, I already got tickets. So I'm going to the game, man.
Yeah, but you can park down here is what I'm saying. You come hang out with us.
Yeah, I got parking also.
Man, you know what, KJ? You always have excuses. Listen to me. Next week, we're going to be out 3 days in a row next week at 3 different locations. And I'm going to tell you those locations. And I'm telling you, I want KJ in West Allis. KJ, if you come out to one of these remotes, I will give you a headset. You can sit next to me and hang out with me at one of these remotes.
Wow. Okay. Well, that sounds like a a great invitation. The invite is definitely welcomed, and you let me know where you're going to be, and I'm going to try and make it out there.
Yeah, you're gonna have to get out here because I need you to be out here. There's certain guys that call into this show that I want at some point to show up to some of these events. Like for instance, Trav and Brown Deer, right? Don't you think if we had Trav and Brown Deer at any of these events, people would line up to get Trav and Brown Deer's autograph at this point, Charlie?
I need to meet Trav. That's on a bucket list for sure. I need to meet KJ too. Both those guys are top of the list.
So you agree?
I agree.
Yeah, I just think it's something that has to happen.
Yeah. Well, on this topic, Sparky, I think that it's traditionally true that the Packers are going to take the spotlight from the Brewers. And especially this year, I think it's really accentuated by the fact that they got Micah Parsons, right? Because, he's the talk of the whole league. They're talking about the Packers on, the other networks being, perhaps the top team in the league, in the NFC. So, that's something that is definitely a thing. And in terms of, guys that are in baseball, being jealous of the other guys, I don't think that's necessarily true. I think there's a mutual admiration between guys in one sport professionally to another, because a lot of guys they dream if they're basketball players of being football players or baseball players or vice versa. So that's something that I think that they look at as wow, I really have a lot of respect for these guys in other sports.
No. That's not okay. KJ, listen here. This is where we're going to be before I let you go. So Tuesday next week, this show will be on the road. Broadhouse, Shorewood, 4022 North Oakland Avenue. Wednesday next week, Jack's American Pub on Brady Street.
Okay. Those are the two places to be next week.
That's where we are next week. And we're going to be out more than that. We'll be out as well, I think, on Wednesday or on Thursday as well next week, the 18th. But I don't have a location for the 18th yet.
Okay. Well, I listen all the time, Sparky. So
I know you do.
I'll be listening, and if I can make it to one of those events, I definitely will. And
no doubt.
I always enjoy your show, and you and Charlie do a really great job.
I appreciate it. Thanks for the call. There you go, Charlie. So KJ in West Allis. Maybe we're getting him out one of these events.
Q says in the YouTube chat, I've never been offered a headset, but Sparky doesn't like me. Mitch would give me a headset for sure. Is that true, Sparky?
What did he say? He said Mitch would give him a headset?
He said Mitch would definitely give him a headset, yeah.
Mitch would give anybody a headset to talk to. What does that have to do with anything? You think that means he likes you because Mitch Nels would give you a headset? You need to stop. Mitch would love anybody. I'm telling you right now, he would give a headset to the bartender here. He'd give a headset to everybody sitting in front of us here. Mitch Nels loves everybody. Mitch wants hugs. So if he gives you a headset, you better be ready to hug him, Q, after you give the headset up, because the man is wanting a hug. That's the only reason he's giving you a headset at the end of the day. That's the only reason.
Our next guest loves hugs too. He's on video
today.
Why is he
here? But why is he here? He's on Tuesdays with us. We have a whole new schedule for baseball and football season. And this knucklehead, he's old, though. He doesn't remember what the new schedule is. So he's just hanging out with us, giving me the number one sign. All right, fine. He's on hold. We'll get to him. Coming up next, here it is, Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's, live from Camp Bar, right here in the 3rd Ward. Come on down, say hi. Baseball calls for Sun Cruiser Vodka Iced Tea made with real iced tea, real vodka, refreshingly smooth and easy to drink, no bubbles to fill you up. It's the perfect game day sipper. Drew Wagner, next. Welcome in. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's. Live from the 1250 AM 1057 FM, the Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook out here at Camp Bar. Come hang out with us. Q is saying in the YouTube dugout chat, I'll hug you at Jack's next week, LOL.
Are you going to take it?
No.
Why not?
No hugs. No, I'm the raw. You can ask everybody in my house. No, that is not something that I'm not a big hugger. No, that's definitely not going to be the case, Q. You can hug like Peacock if he's out there or whoever. Who's at Jack's next week? It is you. Oh, see, lucky you. You get to hug a Peacock next Wednesday or whatever day it is. Yeah, next Wednesday at Jack's American Pub on Brady. So good luck to you. Tulio on the YouTube dugout chat said, "Go Pack, go from Brazil. What a time to be alive and a Packer fan, huh? I'm loving every second of it." Man, I kind of say I have mad respect for you all that don't live here, can't get to a game, live in other parts of the country, live in other parts of the world, in this example with Tulio, and being a fan. Like, I moved my kid to lacrosse for college, like we talked about, and I literally said to Kay, I was like, I don't know if I'd be as big of a sports fan for the Brewers, the Bucks, and the Packers and all of that if I couldn't get to the games. Like, if I couldn't get to the games and they weren't right out there to touch, right? Or I can go whenever I want. I don't know if I would be as heavily invested in watching all of these teams if I didn't grow up being able to go to County Stadium, being able to go to the Bradley Center and that.
I mean, I get that, but I've only ever been to one Bears game in my life, and that was when I was 20 years old already. So I think it doesn't have to be easily attainable if you have that goal of eventually going to one of these games. If you have a dream of being at one of these games, supporting that team, I don't think it'd be that hard.
Yeah,
maybe because I do it already, but yeah.
Yeah, mad respect to those of you that follow from afar teams. That's very cool. A lot of people follow from afar. This guy coming up next. You're out here at Camp Bar Third Ward. Thanks to Sun Cruiser, vodka, iced teas. We got all kinds of swag you can have if you're coming out here to the Camp Bar as well. We got Sun Cruiser hats, T-shirts. We got relief pitcher T-shirts here with a fan that you can get. The bucket hats. Got the little pop sockets, I think, for the phones as well if you're interested in one of those. Come on out here to Camp Bar. Just come on up. If you listen to the show, listen to the station, feel free to grab one. That is the way we do it. There he is. Andrew Wagner joins us now at American Family Field, getting ready for Brewers and Cardinals coming up tonight. Mr. Wagner, how are you?
Please don't hug me, ever.
No.
Ever.
No. You also are not a hugger, I would assume, correct?
No. The whole reason we had COVID was because of the huggers. You know, those people that go, I know you don't like hugs, but I'm going to hug you anyway. Here it comes.
Oh, Mr. Wagner. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about where we are with this Brewers baseball team. Anthony Siegler obviously is now gone. That's the end of that. Realistically, how does this play out with Isaac Collins, Christian Yelich, Sal Frelick, Jackson Churio, Blake Perkins? I mean, they've got a lot of dudes that realistically kind of all deserve playing times for one reason or another.
It's ridiculous, isn't it? Like, you could literally put all their names in a hat and randomly draw names to fill those positions and feel good about every single guy that's chosen. Like, they're not like superstars, you know, they're not going out there and like changing the game with one swing, but all of them are capable, productive players. And you don't feel like you're really losing out if you pick one over the other. It's a difficult decision.
You know, the other part about this is when we talk about problems that the Brewers have is we were talking about this before you came on. I don't know if you were listening, about keeping that momentum that you had, that you built up after the trade deadline, that you built up in August. You get on that huge winning streak. And not only just from the team, but even from the fan base now with the Packers starting, the Micah Parsons deal, That lit this Packer fan base up and going crazy. They beat two really good football teams, at least two good football teams from last year, in Detroit and Washington, playing at a great level. And now all of a sudden, people are more focused on that. And my thing is, I think Brewers fans are looking at this like they're so far out in front. They're so close to clinching a playoff spot, clinching the NL Central. Don't know about the one spot. Philly's coming a little bit on them on that. But for the most part, I think some of those fan bases is like, call me when the playoffs start and I'll be there. But I'm kind of sidetracked right now with the Packers.
I mean, that's, a tale as old as time around here. I remember even 2008, 2011, the lowest crowds during that crazy second half in 2008 with CC. The stands were, 3/4 full a lot of times because people were watching the Packers. People stayed home to watch the Packers.
Right.
People on the concourse out watching the Packers. Like, I get it. The Packers are the be all end all in Wisconsin, but like we heard Murph talking earlier this week about having to bring that intensity, that win tonight mentality into every game. You can't get lackadaisical this time of year. And I'm not big on the whole like fans make or break the game type of thing. Like I heard LaFleur's goofy comments today. Like, okay, whatever. But at the same time,
talking about the gold package showing up and doing their thing. Yeah.
Crying about Packers fans selling their tickets, but raving about Packers fans taking over other stadiums. But I digress. Like you need that energy every night in a ballpark. Like you walk into a ballpark and it's just, kind of quiet. Like how do you get fired up? Like how do you get into that intensity mode? And let's face it, for as well as the Brewers draw, a lot of times like this crowd is usually pretty quiet unless something happens. Like you can have a full stadium and they're more concerned with starting the wave than like making noise. Like you need that. If you want playoff intensity, you have to do your part to create playoff intensity. And I think there's definitely a give and take with that, especially this time of year when guys are dog tired. When I use this example on the Mason Crosby show, when it's basically a Thursday, like you're halfway through the week, the weekend is right around the corner, but you're not quite at Friday yet. And then that's kind of what this time of the year is. The Brewers pretty much know they're going to the playoffs, barring a massive collapse.
Right.
They're not there yet. They haven't clinched anything yet, and they still have a lot to play for, even if it doesn't look like it on paper.
The other two thing we were talking about earlier was the fact that you had some of these Brewers players, along with Bucks players, up at Lambeau Field yesterday. And it was nice, right? Getting an off day to go do something. Pat Murphy was out watching his kids just baseball practice last night, saw him. And then you had these guys up in Green Bay catching a Packer game together. And I look at it and it's good because you had Terang, Durbin, Frelick, these dudes all rolling together to go up to a Packer game. And then to take in that atmosphere of what it's like when you have literally the state of Wisconsin giving you a big hug, right? The Bucks experienced that on their NBA championship run. They've had that. The Brewers still, in my opinion, really haven't had that as much. Yeah, they had the little hamburger run. Okay, fine. But not to the level that the Packers get on a day-to-day basis in this state, not to the level the Bucks got when they won an NBA championship, or even just on the way, 60,000 people over there in Deer District. That's the day I'm looking forward to. I'm looking to the day where you've got 60,000 people, in the parking lot at American Family Field watching the game on big screens, or they fill up American Family Field to watch a playoff game and people are going nuts. That's the type of energy I'm looking for. We're not there yet.
No, we're not there yet. And that's, listen, like I said before, it's a tale as old as time. The Packers usurp everything here, and it's up to the Brewers to make their own noise and put themselves back in the headlines. Like, I wouldn't be shocked if we see at some point Micah Parsons down here throwing out a first pitch. And like, as much as I cannot really care for that team up north, I mean, if you're going to bring them down here for that, put them on the scoreboard between innings, have them involved. Like they have that goofy 414 troop dance team, like have them included in all that in between inning stuff. Get these guys in here. Like, I think it's great that the Brewers were up there yesterday. I'd like to see more interaction between the sports teams in the state. There seems to be a disconnect. Like the Brewers are just kind of like the awkward stepchild at times, which is weird because they play the most games. They're here in the city. They're part of the fabric. You got to integrate these guys more and get them together more and get people fired up and figure out a way to get that same energy and enthusiasm that the entire state has for the Packers. Let's admit it, a pretty damn good baseball team, and has been good for a while.
He is Drew Wagner inside the clubhouse, brought to you by Focus Baseball. Fall minicamp going on right now. Sign your kid up for a fall minicamp. Go to focusbaseball.com. Again, you do not have to be a member of Focus Baseball. Anybody can sign up from any organization. Or if your kid's in Little League and wants some extra help, that works too. Go to focusbaseball.com. Great coaches over there. Tonight, Quinn Priester on the mound for the Brewers at American Family Field against the Cardinals. Leadoff show powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook comes up from 5:30 to 7. Tommy Wirtz will be out here at Camp Bar as well, getting ready for that one, thanks to Sun Cruiser Vodka Iced Tea. We talk about pitch counts. We talk about innings. We talk about guys getting tired and taking an extra day in the rotation. I've not really heard anybody bring up Quinn Priester and the workload that he's had. I mean, this dude's going deeper into games seemingly more regularly than anybody else in this rotation is. He's not really skipping days or doing anything, just gets into his routine and goes. Is there any concern about making sure Quinn Priester is as fresh as possible going into the postseason? Because, again, I've heard nobody say a word about it.
I think they're watching him closely. I think if he starts to show signs of laboring or getting weary or tired, they're going to do something about it. But right now, he's been as steady as it gets. Now the Brewers did just release their updated probables for the rest of the weekend and next week, and it looks like some Brandon Woodruff's getting a couple extra days of rest. So tomorrow will be Jacob Mizorowski, Sunday will be Quintana, Tuesday will be Peralta against the Angels. Woody will go Wednesday, and then Priester will go on Thursday. So
that's good.
They're trying to build some rest in for guys.
Yeah, absolutely makes sense. Mr. Wagner, thank you so much for coming on. Brewers, Cardinals tonight. Catch Andrew Wagner coming up between 5:30 and 7 on the leadoff show as well with Tommy Wirtz. Enjoy your weekend, Mr. Wags.
Are we just going to let Charlie off the hook for his scheduling error? We're just going to let that stay?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
fair enough.
Yeah, I am.
We still like to see your beautiful face, Drew. All right, that's it. I just wanted to hear your loving voice.
Just don't hug me, boys. Bye-bye.
See you later. I have to get an eye checkup for Charlie after the show. I'll get you in at like 6 o'clock for an eye checkup.
You don't even get yourself in for doctor's appointments on your own.
No.
You were supposed to go to the hospital last week, and you didn't do that.
I did. I went to urgent care last Friday, but it was still after the show. They said get there by Saturday morning. I said, well, I have a radio show to do, so it's going to have to wait until I'm done. So I got there at like 7 o'clock. I didn't die. I'm still here. It all worked out fine. Like I told you, if I collapse and die, just finish the show. Like, don't worry about me. I'll be fine. You just finish the show and keep it moving at that point. Coming up, we got to get to Charlie's Sounds of the Day. Top 3 sound clips from around the world of sports. We do it each and every day at 3:40. Hey, mornings can all start to feel the same. So if you're looking for a fresh wake-up call, look no further than Wendy's breakfast. Try a breakfast baconator with fresh cracked eggs and crispy bacon, a grilled sausage breakfast burrito, or maybe even a honey buddy. Don't even think about sleeping on Wendy's seasoned potatoes and English muffin sandwiches. Doesn't matter what you go for, it's gonna change your life. All right, well, at least it's gonna freshen up your morning. Ready for a fresh wake-up call? It's got to be Wendy's. Steve Sparky Fifer here. Charlie Usen back in the studio. Wisconsin Sports Daily served up by Wendy's. Live from the 1250 AM 105.7 FM The Fan Studios. Powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook at Camp Bar in the 3rd Ward. Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's. Live from the 1250 AM 1057 FM, the Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Out here at Camp Bar, 3rd Ward, and out here in large part because of our friends over there at Sun Cruiser Vodka Iced Tea, made with real iced tea and real vodka, refreshingly smooth and easy to drink. No bubbles to fill you up. It's the perfect game day sipper. Brewers and Cardinals tonight. Brewers fans hanging out in here, getting ready to go to the Brewers-Cardinals game in just a little bit. Don't forget, you can watch us on YouTube as well. Search The Fan Milwaukee. Subscribe, like, share all that fun stuff. And, of course, you can also check us out, stream us on the Odyssey app, or download any of our shows that you may have missed in podcast form anywhere you download your favorite podcast at, whether it's Odyssey, iHeart, TuneIn, Spotify, you name it, we are there. So make sure to check that out, too. All right, so let's get into this next thing. Our favorite segment that we do each and every day at 3:40, Charlie's Sounds of the Day. All right, let's get to it. Top 3 clips from Charlie. Now, again, yesterday, this knucklehead played 2 clips that were okay and then waited on the 3rd clip because he knew he was going to push buttons with the 3rd clip. So what will Charlie use and do today on a Friday? Will he be nice to me and send me off to a happy weekend, or will he try to push me over the edge and have me like spill my soda or something here at Camp Bar? Let's hope that doesn't happen, because literally, as you can see on YouTube, I literally just got it. Peacock just went and got me a soda up here at Camp Bar, and I'm very thankful to him for that. Charlie, what's first?
I don't think I'm going to make you that mad, Sparky, today. There might be something that gets under your skin a little bit, but that's just you. Like, that's not on me, I don't think. Yesterday, I did try to make you mad. That was on purpose. First up, we're going to head over to Foul Territory, where author Jane Levy was on promoting her new book called Why I Should Be the Next MLB Commissioner, basically give me the job on there.
Who?
That was Jane Levy. She's an author. She's written
Jane Levy.
She's
I'm going to
written
Google
a couple
this
of books about
person.
I believe Lou Gehrig, Mickey Mantle. Seems like an
American
interesting book
actress.
to be trying. I don't know if you're looking up the right person, but she's
Jane
an author who does
Levy.
sports book. I'll play the clip while you're looking her up there. This is her discussing baseball having too many games. Kind of has to do with what you were just talking about with Drew Wagner there.
Have you looked at the upper decks in most regular season games lately? They're empty. Vast swaths of empty seats. You tell me that it's better to leave them empty and pan them and say, oh, nobody's going to the game, than to fill them up with kids, right? I fundamentally believe that baseball has a problem of too much inventory and too many games. Now, they're not going to change the number of games unless they do the Rob Manfred's reconfiguration, which might force them to come back down, and if they add more franchises still. But in the meantime, they have the seats empty. I asked Mike Rizzo about this before the Nationals decided to let go of him, and he said, fill it up. Fill it up. And then he paused and he said, of course, it doesn't include parking and alcohol, right? So I said, no parking and alcohol.
So Jane Levy, the book that she's promoting there is Make Me Commissioner. I Know What's Wrong with Baseball. She's written books about Mickey Mantle, Sandy Koufax, and Babe Ruth, the big fella.
Nice. Okay, so I agree that the season is too long. This is where I think she misses the point a lot, as do a lot of fans of watch sports. These people really do not care whether or not you come to a ton of their games. They really do not care that much if you fill up their stadiums one way or the other. What they care about are TV deals, streaming deals. That's where a majority of their revenue is coming from. Yes, they sell signage in the stadium. Yes, they sell spots within the radio broadcast or TV broadcasts or whatever, depending on who controls the inventory. In some cases, depending on the sport, they may not even control the inventory in their own game. It may be to the TV network they sign the deal with or whatever. But while fan attendance matters maybe more to Mark Attanasio, owner of the Brewers, he said that before, our payroll goes as our fan attendance goes, even though you get $300 and some odd $1 million in revenue every year. It's about us. But either way, when we talk about it from that perspective, can you fill it if you say all tickets are $5 in the upper deck all season long? They're $5. Can you sell out every game for 81 games? My answer to that is I don't think you can. I don't think you can I don't think you can sell out 81 games at $5 a holler on each and every ticket. And then, you pay your $20 to park and your $20 for a soda or beer or whatever you're going to pay, depending on what park you're at in Major League Baseball. I still don't think that works. I still don't think that gets it across the line. I don't really think these owners right now care one way or the other. I get the visual is bad, right? Empty seats is not a great visual to see on TV. It's not a great visual to see if you're sitting in the stands, right? I mean, think about this. American Family Field, the first year that was open was packed. The second year American Family Field was open was the worst year in franchise history. You literally had sections of seats to yourself, and it was the second year of a brand new stadium. That never, ever should have happened. But the team stunk, and nobody can. And that was the end of that. But guess what? It didn't kill the Brewers. It didn't put the Brewers under. Why? Because they had everything already sold into that bad boy. All the additional revenue they had coming in that they weren't getting at County Stadium. Everything they wanted to get out of it, they got out of it. Now, over the course of time, what's happened? They started closing down suites, combining suites for group sales, taking out sections of seats and building that right field euchre thing that they're building, taking out seats there and putting up a structure there and having something else to attract fans. There are ways to take out seats, shrink down how many suites are available if you're not selling them, and still make it useful and still make it a moneymaker and a revenue generator. You don't necessarily have to go to the extreme that Jane Levy is talking about, Charlie.
No, you don't have to. And I think that when you look at kind of how the NFL is doing, and I know those are two completely different beasts right now, is the NFL, their tickets are so expensive no matter really where you're sitting, that teams like Atlanta and Baltimore now more recently have decided to set their snack prices way lower and set them at kind of where they should be for a lot of people. But that's because the ticket prices are so high. I'm surprised that more MLB teams don't try to take that approach. And I know that it's because you have so many more games during the season and that you can't really choose to have tickets be at a higher price, but you can change kind of the daily prices of these tickets for a Monday game. Yeah, maybe it is a little cheaper to go there, but if you have the lower snack prices,
yeah, but wait a second. You do have dynamic pricing, right? They charge more for Cub games. They charge more for other games. So you have the standard price and then they raise prices. Are you saying to drop prices from the standard?
Yeah, drop them down a little bit. Discount tickets for people in the middle of the week, because that's how you get families more in there. And again, having the extra incentive of your snack prices being at a more standard price than what they're supposed to be at would get people to be in the stadiums more consistently, in my opinion, and you'll make money that way as well.
I think if we're talking about cutting prices and doing something that way, it has to be at the concession stands. It just does. Like you do your dollar dogs days or whatever.
Have that once a week, once a month.
But if you really want to do this, like there should just be family meals at all these parks. All of them should have some type of family meal, no matter what day of the week it is, right? You should be 4 dogs, 4 sodas, 4 popcorns, whatever for $20, right? Do that. Make it affordable for a family of 4 to go to a game, to be able to eat and enjoy themselves and all of that without spending a ridiculously amount of money in order to pay. Now, again, in Milwaukee, we're spoiled. They let you bring food in. They let you bring in whatever pretty much you want. Plus, you can tailgate with your own food, so you really don't have a reason to buy concession stand food when you go in. To this day, I don't understand why they don't charge for like tailgating at American Family Field, because that would be a whole nother source of revenue that people would pay. Even if it was, hey, you got to pay $20 for a license for the whole year, and if you don't pay and you're coming on a one-off, it's $5. Whatever. Like people would pay it. There's no question. They complain, but they'd all pay it because it wouldn't be that big of a deal. All right, Charlie, clip number 2.
Next up here, we're going to head over to Get Up on ESPN, where Peter Schrager and the Get Up crew were discussing whether or not Micah Parsons could be this year's Saquon Barkley.
Is Micah this year's Saquon?
It's eerily similar in that Joe Shane was on Hard Knocks, the Giants GM, and we had it all on video. We had him saying the words that we're going to move on from Saquon. So it was almost like the smoking gun of here's the mistake that was made. Jerry has so many quotes on camera and so many things in paper that he actually has said we're better off with Micah. We need to improve the rushing game, the run defense game. Kenny Clark improves us. It's all right there. We saw it on video. Micah Parsons could be the Saquon Barkley of this season.
Which leads me to ask you, Mike Tannenbaum, like inside that building, or if you're inside the Cowboys building and they've got their game with the Giants to deal with, and we're going to make picks on all these. We'll get to the Cowboys in a minute. But if you're not Jerry Jones, if you're someone else in that building and you're watching Micah right now becoming the story of the league, what thoughts are going through your mind?
Massive regret that, again, how we approach things strategically, Greeny, puts us at a massive competitive disadvantage. When you have a future Hall of Famer by any metric who's 26 years old and you hit on your own first-round pick, sign him right now. A year ago, they should have signed him. The fact that it got this far, we talked about it for months, Greeny. Nick Bosa was at $35 million. Now we're all the way up to $47 million. It is as deflating to the Dallas Cowboys as it is invigorating to the Green Bay Packers. They are human. They all saw that game last night. He's a great player that makes everybody else around him better.
Who wins a championship first, Luka or Micah Parsons?
Micah Parsons. Again, I think that the NFL.
I heard
is so
people
much
down
more
here
wide
at camp are yelling out Micah Parsons over here. That was the
Parsons.
response. Micah Parsons, right?
It's
Over
the easy
Luka.
one.
Luka's got to go play with old LeBron and all of that.
Well, and the NBA just in general is so much more, I guess, wide open. You have so many more teams that I think are going to be competing for an NBA championship over the course of the next 3 or 4 seasons versus the NFL. Again, we're seeing that clear separation between the top teams in the league and the middle of the tier teams in the league. And I think that lowers the pool of teams that could potentially win a championship. And the Green Bay Packers are in that top pool that could win a championship at this point in my mind.
The other part about this, too, is sorry to all of you poor Dallas fans that are getting your hearts ripped out. I'm completely joking. I'm not serious at all. You already won a damn championship with Dirk. You've won several championships with the Cowboys. I lived through the crappy 90s with your damn teams. Not sorry at all. Too bad, so sad. All right, next up.
And last up here, we're going to hear from one of your favorites, Nick Wright of Fox Sports 1. He was on with Dan Patrick, and he was discussing why he was disgusted with the way media talked about Micah Parsons when he was traded to the Green Bay Packers.
I was so disgusted, truly disgusted, Dan, with our colleagues in the media. When we have talked more Cowboys, not you guys are an erudite show. Like, listen, whatever the story of the day is, we're going to do.
Yes.
Us Neanderthals, we're talking Cowboys a lot. We've talked more Cowboys in the last 4 years and more than any other team and more Micah Parsons than any defensive player in football. And not in a single segment did any analyst on any network have this take. You know, I accept he's a great pass rusher, but if you look at his run stuff rate, really is he overrated? And then Jerry Jones loses a negotiation, trades him, and says, well, we were trying to stop the run. And for about a week, the whole media had a fever dream where it was like, Micah Parsons, is he good? Differing opinions. Like the Dan Campbell before the game says, like, yeah, we were just glad Kenny Clark got off the team. And I like and know Kenny Clark. And Kenny Clark, Dan, is such a good player. He's a good enough player that if you say, I'll give you Kenny Clark and 2 first-round picks, you can get a player like Micah Parsons. So, like, I was really happy that Micah made the impact he did because he deserved to.
That's nice. Nick Wright. Okay, fine. All good points. It was funny. Okay. Nobody ever brought up his lack of stopping the run before when he was making plays for the Dallas Cowboys and all that's fine. I don't want to hear Nick Wright. I don't. If you're going to play somebody for me from that show, I want Parkins' butt. That's what I want. I want Danny Parkins crying after the Packers go 2-0. Micah Parsons is tearing it up. The Packers defense is dominating at this point. Jordan Love looks good yesterday. No interceptions. Everything's playing well. If you're going to play me audio from that show, Charlie, use it. I want Danny Parkins on a platter on this show. That's what I want.
All right. Next time I will get you Danny Parkins complaining. From what I've seen, Danny Parkins hasn't been complaining all that much. He hasn't been as homer as he normally has since he's been added on to the end of this show here. First things first, when he gets that last third hour of the show now. I mean, I think this is, again, like I've talked about being a Bears fan myself. This is really just kind of a spectacle to see. It is just cool as a football fan to see this happen and see a trade like this go down and see the fruits of it show up on national stages right now on Thursday Night Football. how much of an impact he has. Again, this is just a cool football moment that I think football fans are going to be cheering for a while now. Now, give it 6-7 weeks, and then Bears fans are probably going to get sick of it and start complaining about it again. But I think even myself and Danny Parkins have to admit, this is really just crazy how much of an impact he's had so far.
You're a better person than I am, right? I mean, you're half my age. But when I was in my 20s and I was at your age, I didn't think anything was cool if some team in Chicago was doing anything good. I didn't think Michael Jordan was cool. I didn't think the Bulls dynasty was cool. I hated every minute of the Bulls dynasty. I hated every minute of the 85 Bears. I hated every minute of that Bears lucky team that went and lost to my Colts in the Super Bowl, how lucky they were getting interceptions in big situations like Mike Brown was doing seemingly every week for the Bears. Hated every minute of that. You can screw yourself on the Cubs World Series team in 2016 or whatever. Didn't like that either. No, man, no. I mean, God bless you because you're like, oh, this is kind of cool for football. Like, this is all right. Like, no chance. There is no chance I'd ever say that about anything positive that ever goes down in that city down there involving any sports organization outside of maybe the Blackhawks, because I don't follow hockey, so I really don't care what happens to Blackhawks. But the other ones, no. Ozzie Guillen, absolutely not. I'll tell you what about Ozzie Guillen. I like listening to Ozzie Guillen, right? Do post game and do radio interviews on the Score and all of that. Was I rooting for Ozzie Guillen and the White Sox to win a World Series? Absolutely not, man. Nobody liked Ozzie Guillen when he played for the White Sox. He come to Milwaukee and County Stadium, run his mouth at women in the stands and everything else. Nobody want to deal with Ozzie Guillen. And now we all have selective memory and acting like, oh, Ozzie Guillen, that big, lovable, huggable guy. Get out of here with all that nonsense. Absolutely not. If it's any sports-related thing from Chicago, I have no interest. I will never give you credit. I will never be supportive of it. It will never, ever happen, Charlie. And you are a better human being because you're kicking back over there as a Bears fan going, this is kind of cool. Micah Parsons and the Packers and how good they are. Like, I'm sorry. You have a much bigger heart and sense of life than I ever will.
See, I think that's the biggest difference, though, is that, yes, you've experienced a lot of losing in your life with your team, but you've also experienced winning at this point, too.
Yes, but
it's the Cubs.
If you go on my timeline, you got about another 10 years, and then it should kick in for you. And off to the races you should go.
You think that's going to happen with any Chicago sports team at this rate?
Okay, but Charlie, look, and I don't want to ruin everybody's Friday, but realistically, this is not going to continue the rest of my life. I mean, I hope it does, right? I hope for the rest of my life they're this good until I die. That would be amazing.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Brewers, Bucks, Packers, all contending for championships for the next 30, 40 years. Be amazing. Do I think it's going to happen? No. At some point, this is going to flip, and we're going to go back to where we were. And at some point, Detroit, Minnesota, Chicago are going to get good, and they're going to get on their own run here at some point. That's probably what's going to happen. That's why I have to appreciate everything we have going on right now in this state as far as how good we are in everything outside of college football. That I don't want to talk about.
They're 2-0, Sparky.
Charlie, last night I was at my kid's baseball practice, right? And one of the dads was like, oh, yeah, I'm going by my buddy's house and go watch the Badger-Alabama game. I literally said, I turned to him, I said, why? And he looked at me. He's like, what? I'm like, why? They're going to get killed. Why are you going out to do that? He's like, well, since you ask, I'm getting free beer, free steaks or something here. He's grilling out. He was like, I'm going for all the free stuff I'm getting. I don't care if they get beat or not. It ain't even about the game. I'm going to just go get a bunch of free food and drink at the end of the day. I'm recording that game tomorrow. I'm not sure if I'll be home to watch it live because I am scared to watch that game. I watched the last one, and that was horrible.
I mean, maybe that's the good luck thing. Maybe you don't watch it at all, and the Badgers will have the biggest upset of the weekend.
Right, maybe.
All right, there we go. That's
or you win
crossed.
The lottery. I'll take you winning the lottery. Okay, what's the next clip? Third clip, right? We got one more?
That was all three, no.
That was all three. All right, very good. Charlie Usen is there. Steve Sparky Fifer here. Coming up next, Green and Gold update. I need you to go get me the Tucker Kraft audio from last night. We played it on the Green Bay football postgame show. Tucker Kraft talks about what opposing defenses game plan for when they face the Green Bay Packers. And I just shook my head, and Tommy and I got into it. I know it's hard to believe Tommy and I got into it. But Tommy and I got into it on the postgame show based on what Tucker Kraft had to say. We'll talk about that coming up next. Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's. Live from the 1250 AM 105.7 FM, the Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook, out here at Camp Bar. Thanks to our friends over there at Sun Cruiser Vodka Iced Tea, made with real iced tea and real vodka. It's refreshingly smooth and easy to drink with no bubbles to fill you up. It's the perfect game day sipper. Up next, Green and Gold update here on the Fan.